Coming up, I build a working diamond factory that features a huge array of cobblestone generators. I also ask you guys a very important question that could change the whole future of this Let's Play. Let's create diamonds again. In the last video, we built half of a diamond factory, which probably doesn't look like a diamond factory because all at the moment it's doing is creating mud and a handful of dead bushes. But those are going to be incredibly useful towards our diamond making process. Let me explain with this factory diagram that we've pretty much completed most of, apart from this top line here. All we got to do is turn those dead bushes into some thatch, age those a couple of times, mix it with some mud in order to create mulch, and then do a couple of things with that in order to create coal, then compress it a bit, heat it up a bit, and turn it into rough diamonds, and then sand those down into diamonds. But there is a little bit of a problem, and that is that the cobblestone generator that we built in the last episode is probably not the fastest. I mean, it is a nice fast one. It's producing 20 cobblestone very, very quickly. But as you can see from our storage drawers, we've got absolutely no cobblestone, which means we're getting no gravel, which means we're getting no sand, which means we're getting no terracotta, which means we're getting no red sand, and that means we're hardly getting any dead bushes. And we're going to need a lot of dead bushes to make diamonds. So I think the first thing I want to do is double that up on the other side of the platform. Why not? Why not shove it over there, miles away from everything else? There we go, the new cobble generator is in place, we've got power to it, it's connected to the storage drawers, it just needs one more shaft to activate it, and that should all kick into action now, hopefully. It has done, which means we're generating even more cobble. And as you can see from the storage drawers, that actually means we're occasionally getting some in there, which is getting turned into gravel very quickly, and then that's getting turned into sand and the rest of the stuff very quickly. But that should double up our dead bushes, and that's going to be very important next. So I've took a little time to lay out this factory diagram, which actually shows us all of the machines we're going to need to do this process. And we're first of all going to need to start off with a press to turn the dead bushes into thatch. So that should be nice and easy. And I think I'm going to dedicate this area to this part of the factory because that's the part of the factory we've got left. Oh geez, right, let's start with the press then. So I've put this little setup together which is going to do exactly what we need. It's going to take dead bushes out of there 9 at a time, put them into this base, and they're going to get pressed into thatch blocks. And normally at this point I would just have everything going straight back into the storage drawers, but I think I want to continue this line so it's one full continuous system. So instead of doing that, we're going to build the next bit, which is aging the thatch. And we do that by deploying nuggets of XP onto them. And that's nice and easy. So instead of these item drains, we're going to have some belts here instead. And we don't need too much because we only need a couple of deployers. So let's just extend that belt that way. We're going to put one deployer there, another deployer there. And if we spin those round, that'll be easy to connect the power to them. We can tidy up the belt a little bit. And both of these are going to need smart chutes on them and connect into our storage drawer system to get nuggets of XP out. However, you'll notice over here, we don't actually have any nuggets of XP. Well, we've got one. And that one only happened because a fly fell into the system and got crushed. So where are we going to get those from? Well, currently all of my experience is being stored over at the mob farm underneath the ground in the basement in some storage drawers that are connected to my main storage drawer system. And what we've done to save a bit of space is actually convert those nuggets into blocks of experience, which, well, basically just saves us a bunch of space really. But then the question is, do I want this diamond factory to be fully autonomous, i.e. generating its own nuggets of experience? And there's another item as well at the diamond farm that we're not generating that it's gonna need, and that's a relatively simple one. And all it is basically paper for sandpaper, because we've got to turn the rough diamonds into diamonds with sandpaper, which is gonna require a whole bunch of paper. We've already got sand coming into the system, and if we felt like it, we could even use the diamonds that we're making to make diamond grit paper and do it that way, and that way we're not going to use as much paper and sand. But without sand in the system, or nuggets of experience, and in fact, or blaze cakes, this system's not going to be fully autonomous. And I think that's okay, because it's for diamonds. All we need to do is just load an absolute ton of paper into here, an absolute ton of experience into here, and an absolute ton of blaze cakes in here, and the factory will take care of itself until all of those things have run out. And I think that's the best way forward. And now that we know all of that, we've got to get those nuggets of experience in here, I guess. And I think around about 10,000 should be a good start. And I think 10,000 of those should do. So all we need now is paper, and we've only got 2,048 of that. But as I take those out of there, you'll see they start going back in again, and that's because our little create factory over here is actually producing that for us. In here, we've got all of the ingredients we'd ever need to create stuff, and one of those is paper for sandpaper. So yeah, we don't need to worry about paper. This is just going to produce it in vast quantities for us, and it'll just keep coming. So if we do ever run out over here, we can just chuck a whole bunch more into there. Which brings us back to these chutes, which we now need to connect to the storage system in order to get those nuggets of experience in. And a few seconds later, we've now got our storage system connected to those. Those have got nuggets of experience, and I've even got the belt powered. So we can move on to the next stage of the process, which is taking that aged thatch and then mixing it with some mud into mulch. Okay, let's do that then. So first of all, let's shove on a mixer. Let's stick a funnel on it to take the items coming off there. Have a quick snooze because this is all very hard work. And then add a couple of item drains that are going to take the mud out of our system and put them in there as well. Now we need another funnel on there, facing inwards ideally, and another funnel on there to take the mud out. And I guess we want these coming out one at a time rather than too many at once, because otherwise we're going to get way too much stuff in there. So now that we've got a line that takes us all the way from dead bushes to mulch, we need to think about what's next, and that's compressing the mulch blocks into compressed mulch with a press. So that's nice and easy as well. We can extend this line and bring it this way a bit. This thing is wildly irritating being in my ear hole the whole time I'm building this, so for now I'm going to turn that off because it's driving me crazy. Shut up. Let's just put that there so I don't lose it. And for now, all we're going to do here is just take that straight out of there, straight into there, press it, and put it back into the storage system, only because I want to test this is all going to work before we start moving on to the next section. And in order to make it work, we're going to need a whole bunch more power connecting to these bits, which shouldn't be too difficult. And what else is not difficult? I want these storage drawers on the other side. Chain drive all the way up to there, that's the press powered, and then we just need to get this powered. And with the cog on top, that's all of that done. Excellent. Right, we're all powered and ready to go, so I guess let's test it out. First of all, I need to spin this round and then change the number on that so we're just getting one mud coming through at once. And then I need to spin this one round and just get 9 of those coming through at once so we're not getting too many of those either. And so far, absolutely... Oh, I need to spin that one round, I was going to say. There we go. And there we go. We're now turning those dead bushes into thatch. They are not getting aged. I didn't power these. Oh, I've made a boo-boo. Bit more chain drive then, coming out that way a bit. Another vertical gearbox there. There we go. Now that's powered. But we've got stuff that we don't need in other things. So let's take all of this thatch out of here if we can. There we go. And now we're aging the thatch. That's going through into there. That should then be coming out of here. And there we go. We've got mulch in there. We just need a whole bunch of them. I think 4 in order to make compressed mulch. And there we go. We're now generating compressed mulch into the top slot up there, which is temporary because we're going to just extend this line to do the other things as well. But that's all working. Lovely. Right, okay, let's smash this first section of this to bits, all the way up to that point there, and now there really doesn't seem all that much left to do. And letting this thing run through all of the dead bushes we've already accumulated, you can see we've only got 7 of those left, and that's made a whole 184 compressed mulch. And just to remind you, there were over 6,000 in there, and each one of those is going to create us 1 piece of coal, and we need 9 pieces of coal for every diamond. So this is, well, geez, we're not going to get many diamonds out of this at all, mate. Jeez. Right, anyway, worries about diamonds aside, it's time to create a spout and a press system to turn all of those things into coal. So let's do this. And before we let's do this, I actually want to get rid of these item drains here and just extend this belt out towards that, pop a shaft in it so it can actually get going, and then that way we just have one continuous conveyor line going all the way from the start, all the way down to here, and we're now going to extend it a little bit. Jeez, I can speak today, honest guys. I've been practicing and everything. Right, I don't want this running though while we're doing that, so let's just delete that. And we're going to delete that and that as well so that we can extend our storage drawers and the belt. And we don't want to come any further than this line here, which is fine. A little bit more belt this way, please. A spout on there and a couple of presses, and that should sort that process out. I can connect those presses with this gearbox and some chain drive, and now we just need some lava into that spout, and our lava's all the way over there. I guess I've got some digging to do. And we can just steal it straight off the source that's going to our power station there. That'll bring it this way. Ah, jeez. Oh, yeah, quite a lot, jeez. Ah, stop. Oh, no. I love working with pipes. And that should get a reasonable amount of way over here. I'm not sure exactly how. Oh, is it going to go all the way? It did. It's gone all of the way. Oh, good. I don't have to muck about with any pumps then. Excellent. In which case, the next part of this little plan is done. We just need this to go somewhere, and what we need to do next is then... Oh, we need to put it back into the storage system so that we can actually turn the coal into coal blocks using compacting drawers. So we're going to need some more compacting drawers here. So what I think I'm going to do is scooch things about a bit. Let's take that one away for a minute, put it up there. Oh, geez. Put it up there. Grab the dead bushes, we'll put those there. We'll steal these compacting drawers here and we'll just shove those in there. And then this one here can go down. No, can go down there. There we go. And we'll just preload this with a bit of coal, lock it and quantify it, and then take that coal back again. You can't steal my coal, mate. That's mine. So now all I need to do here is just literally bring these storage drawers up here with a funnel going in like that, and that's this system done. Right, okay, let's get it started again then. We'll replace that. We'll put one of those back there. We should see some dead bushes coming through. They should get turned into... Oh, geez. Oh, there we go. We got one. But the problem here now is that we actually need to get all of the stuff that we already put in the system back over to it, because this is just temporary. So let's just take that out of there by hand. And I'm just going to shove it all onto this belt a stack at a time without picking it up ideally. No, that's just on the floor. Onto the belt. No, that's also on the floor. Okay, onto the belt. But it's not doing anything. Oh, I've missed a stage. We need to turn that compressed mulch into aged compressed mulch, which means we need another deployer with some more nuggets of experience at this point here. So we need to scooch all this down one block. Okay, everything has been successfully scooched one block, so let's pop a deployer in there. Let's stick a smart chute on top of that, some more storage drawery stuff, and I guess we can just run this straight across the top. All the way over to this one, but I don't want to connect it until I've put the nuggets in there so it doesn't get the wrong thing, and then we're just going to need to power that as well. So I think spinning it round would be a good start. Spinning that one round and then just nabbing a little bit of that chain drive. There we go. So let's just filter it with nuggets there, and then put one of those in there, and now we've got that system in place. So this should work. Let's grab our compressed mulch and test it. One on there. Yep. Ah, there we go. Now that's working. Okay, good. Right, let's sling it all on. And this is the point where I realise I've made a big mistake. All we're doing now is successfully creating hot compressed mulch, which is not what we actually want. And as you can see, that's all going in there. Hot aged compressed mulch, which is fine, but what we actually need to do is send it round 5 times in order to create coal. So this little system here, whilst it's all fine and dandy, is not going to work for us at all because it actually needs to be on a loop. That shouldn't be too difficult, actually. Normally I would make a completely separate little setup for that, but because our dead bush system is so slow coming through, we really don't have a great deal going on this belt. So what we can do here is do something a little bit sneaky. Bring our storage drawers over this way a little bit like that. Grab another one of those, get some more item drains and put those on there, and we'll just send them back out of the system straight onto this belt, and that should work, assuming they don't just go flying off there. So let's grab one piece of this, take it back over here, put a funnel on there, stick that on there, and then spin it round, and let's just have one at a time coming out. But yes, there we go. That's worked. So we've now got a cycling system. It's going to take those in there. They're going to go back into there. And once they've been done 5 times, we should get the actual right item now. And that means that these do actually need a permanent storage drawer in this system. So we'll take those out of there and put them in there. Oh, but they're different because they've got different MBT. Yeah, each time they go round, their MBT data is going to change, so they're going to need a drawer each. In which case, we'll just have some sneaky drawers around the back set up just for these. And now that's all working. They're all going round and round and round and round and doing everything they need to do, and they're all coming out over here into these bits here. And as you can see, this is the first stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage, which means the next stage should actually be the thing we want, but we haven't got any of those yet. So let's keep an eye on it and see what happens. And as you can see, occasionally we're getting a piece of coal through here now, so that should be going into the system. It is. And for some reason we've got mulch in there. How did we end up with mulch in there? That shouldn't be in there. Let's just give it a slot just in case that happens again. But yeah, we're getting coal now. Look. 4 coal blocks already. And the reason we're getting mulch back in the system is because that process can fail. So we do need a way of getting the mulch back out of the system if it's failed and putting back in again. We also need to be able to get this compressed mulch out of there and back in again. And that needs to come out next to this one. So let's just have another one of those there. And this one can be for the compressed mulch. Let's spin that round and set that down to 1. So that should get aged again and then sent back in again. Okay, good. But then the mulch, where does the mulch go? The mulch goes in at this point here, so we need another one of these set up here. Oh geez, this is becoming a bit of a spaghetti mess. Stick it on there, spin that one round, set that down to 1 as well, and now everything should be able to get back through onto the system. Jeez. But providing it doesn't make too many mistakes, it should all be okay. And after giving all those blocks a few minutes to go through, you can see we've now got 20 blocks of coal. So after all this time, we're going to have produced a whole 20 diamonds. Well, by the time we've finished off the rest of these processes. But before we get to the rest of these processes, I've got a question to ask you, and it's quite an important one. Believe it or not, this is episode 50 of this world, and that's a lot of episodes to do in a world. And because of all of the crazy contraptions, farms and factories we've built, there really isn't a great deal left that I haven't done, in terms of producing items at least. There's still a whole bunch of mods on this mod pack that I haven't explored, such as Enlightened, which fiddles about with the end. Can we even get to it anymore? Over in the distance somewhere, there's a whole bunch of new blocks and biomes and creatures and items and things that I have never seen and never explored, but I don't think they really add a great deal to this Create Let's Play if I'm being honest, and there's nothing I particularly want or need, although maybe a nuclear furnace might be good, or even a nuclear bomb. Not sure why I'd need one of those. And speaking of nuclear bombs, I'm back at spawn. Haven't been here in a long time. Alex's Caves, which there are none of around here because this world was loaded a long time before he added that mod, also adds the ability to make nuclear bombs. And a whole bunch of other stuff as well, like magnets and things. But again, doesn't really help me with this Create mod pack so much. In fact, having spent some time looking at both of those mods and all of the blocks and things that you can create, there really isn't a great deal that I would particularly need or want. And whilst in the next phase I could add more mods and do a whole bunch of exploration episodes, I kind of feel at this point that everything's just got a little bit creative mode. For one, I'm flying around with a backpack. 2, I've got access to just about any resource I could ever want in massive quantities through my Applied Energistics 2 wireless system. And 3, this armor and stuff that I've got, I'm just invincible at this point. There really aren't any challenges or problems, like even if I fight the Wither, I don't take any damage. And if you're interested in seeing that, I did a video on that a few videos ago where I made a whole bunch of beacons. Or at least I got a whole bunch of nether stars. So that brings me to my question, and I think there's 3 possible answers. So answer number 1 would be to continue this world onto the next phase and basically carry on what we're doing, which could involve adding some new mods potentially and exploring some of the things that I just haven't explored in this world yet. Like the end and like oceans as well. We've not done anything in oceans. We've not built any ships. I've not even been to an ocean monument and played with the Guardians and got Prismarine. And if you want me to do that, then type #continue into the comments, and that way it's easy for me to see how many of you want me to do that. Answer number 2 is continue but restart, and what that means is to basically stay on this world, move to a new area, but get rid of everything. And I don't mean tear down all the buildings and things. I mean things like getting rid of my AE2 storage interface so that I've got no access to all of these items, getting rid of my armor and my tools and equipment, and basically having to start from scratch, rebuilding farms and systems in place, probably more efficiently and better than I did the first time round, in order to eventually build up so that I can connect it all back to this again and have a bunch of other new areas in this world. And if you want me to do that, type #restart into the comments, and then I'll know how many of you want me to do that. The final answer is for me to start a new world and a new pack, effectively a season 2. Because this world is running on Forge, and whilst Forge is great because it's got access to a massive amount of different mods, it's also missing a few that I'd really like. You see, after all of that time playing Create Astral with Mr. Beardstone, I kind of got used to having Replay mod, and Replay mod's fantastic and really does enhance your experience, and there's just nothing like it for Forge. So I've been working on a new mod pack that's based around Fabric, brick, and whilst it is missing a whole bunch of the things that we would need to continue this world in it, it's also got a whole bunch of new mods which I think are really exciting. So it would be very similar to this, but also different, new, and I've also got a whole bunch of ideas for how a new season would go. Rather than just doing what we've done here and building a whole bunch of different areas with big old factories in, I've got ideas for how we could make it really interesting, which would still involve building lots of buildings with factories in. But if you want me to do that, then type hashtag season 2 in the comments, and then I'll know how many of you want me to do that. And being perfectly honest, I really don't mind which option we end up going with. Whilst I am quite keen for something new and something a little bit different, I'm really enjoying this world and everything it's got in it. Although it is feeling a little bit cheaty and OP at this point, especially with the fact that we're now going to be crafting diamonds, which is a particularly cheaty and OP thing to do, but I do love it. So let's make some diamonds, in which case we need to continue our process, and that means turning coal blocks into really hot coal blocks with superheated blaze burners and blaze cakes, and then turning that into compressed coal. How hard could it be? What could possibly go wrong? And the answer is nothing, because I'm pretty much invincible at this point, and I've got access to absolutely anything I want. So skipping forward slightly, I've put this system in place which should take our coal blocks, superheat them into hot coal blocks using this little system, and then compress 4 of those at a time down into compressed coal blocks, and then they're just going to go flying off the end over there. So in order to prevent them flying off the end over there, we need to set up the next stage of this, which is another loop system, which is going to put more lava on them and press them a bunch of times, and that should turn them into rough diamonds. So that system is pretty much identical to this one over here. So we're going to need a spout there again, another couple of presses, a way to recirculate items back on there, and we're going to need to stop the belt here in order to get the items off. So we can pop a funnel on there. We just need to get some power onto these, and we can do exactly what we did over here. So a bit of chain drive on there, spinning that one round, with a shaft coming down from that and a vertical gearbox in there. Oh, and we've overstressed the system. A little power station's not keeping up. That's okay, we got another 3 steam engines on this we can add onto there. And we've got a bit of stress left now, that's good. And now all I need to do is connect a bunch of pipe to this down into the floor, and ideally connecting up with that line over there. We've just got to bring it down under here, bend it round there a little bit, and then connect those there. And that needs just turning. There we go. Now we've got lava going up, and that should hopefully reach it all the way. It has done. Excellent. Let's just cover up that hole, make it look a little bit more tidy, and that system should be just about ready to go. Let's find out. And in order to find out, all we got to do is replace these things with some of those. So that should allow blaze cakes out of there any second. There we go. And the mechanical arm's already... Oh, you put it in the basin. You're supposed to be putting it in the blaze burner, mate. Jeez. Pick up from there, deposit in there, go. That's better. Good job. Now this little blaze cake system could be a problem, because that's always going to run regardless of whether we've got any items to be processed or not, which means eventually it's just going to burn through all of those blaze cakes for no reason. So what we should do here is have a threshold switch system on the coal to say only do it if we've actually got a reasonable amount of coal ready to be processed, and say only activate if there's, well, geez, there's hardly any in there. That's the only problem. Okay, the way we're going to make this easier on ourselves is we're going to put a storage downgrade in there, and that means that a lot less can go in, and that makes it a lot easier to actually control the threshold switch. So we want to say if there's none in there, then lock it, but if there's more than 10% in there, then unlock it. So it should be unlocked at the moment, so that means it can go. So all we got to do is get rid of that and put one of those there, and we also need to get... Oh no, I can't do that one yet because we don't have the items, but there we go. Coal blocks are going in, hot coal blocks are coming out, they're getting pressed. Wow, and they just went straight through. But now we're going to have that problem where they've got the MBT data going on, which means that we need to fiddle about with our storage drawers again, because they're going in here, which is great, but there's going to be 4 different varieties of them, so we need more of these secret ones behind here. So we'll just put them up there out of the way, then we can come round here and grab those out of there, put those in there instead, and then we need to take these and tell this that they can come out of there to go back round again. And then that needs converting into one of those, and they should then start coming back out of there again any second now. There we go. Lovely, good. And then we're going to get the second tier of those going around there, which don't appear to be going anywhere at all. Well, they've gone in. Everything's gone in. I'm very confused. We've got nothing out here. We've got none in there. So where did all of those go? Huh? Now, there is a 50% chance on this process that those rough diamonds fail and you end up getting random salvage back, which in this case I believe is just a piece of coal. So it's not impossible that all of those ended up as a piece of coal. And now we've got no coal blocks left. So I'm going to grab a whole bunch of coal out of my inventory and shove that all in there and see if we can get this going a bit better. See what happens this time. Let's just get rid of that and then we can see what's going on. Nothing at all. Okay, different plan then. Instead, move it, fly. Instead of move. Instead of that, we're going to put a filter on there so it only allows those through, and then we can see if anything else is happening here. Because they shouldn't just be vanishing into nothing. They should keep going round until they fail. So now we've got a storage drawer for each of the stages of that, and so far nothing's going on here because, oh, we've actually got a rough diamond, so that can't go through, and coal can't go through. So yeah, we've had an error there. So let's unclog that filter, allow those things to go through. That means the rough diamonds should now be in this chest, which they are, so let's give them their own chest. And let's keep our eye on this and see how many rough diamonds we actually get from all of that coal that I just shoved in there, which was 64 blocks worth. Well, that all seemed to go pretty much okay. We did get a lot of coal back instead of rough diamonds, but if we look over here, we got a whole 24 rough diamonds worth from that, so that's pretty good. And you might be thinking, well, this is a really rubbish way of getting diamonds, FoxyNoTail. You hardly get any back, and I think if you look at the maths of this whole thing, you'll be absolutely right. So taking a second to actually do the maths on this, I think my diamond processing system is pretty fair, because in order to get one rough diamond, which is the equivalent of one diamond, we actually need to process over 875,000 cobblestone. And the way that works is because there's a 50% chance of getting a diamond from a compressed coal block. You need 4 hot coal blocks to create one of those. You need 9 coal to create one coal block. There's only a 95% chance of getting coal from one of the compressed mulches, so you need extra of those. You need 4 mulch to make one compressed mulch. You need 9 dead bushes to make one thatch. You only get a 5% chance of getting a dead bush from a red sand, and you need 4 clay balls to make one clay block, and there's only a 25% chance of getting a clay ball from sand. So if you work all the way through this, doing all of the maths from start to finish, to get one diamond, you need nearly 1 million cobblestone, which is pretty crazy, but I think that makes this system a lot more fair than, well, other systems I've seen where they just turn coal into diamonds. And as a result of this, we're probably not going to get many diamonds from it. And in order to work out exactly how many diamonds we should expect from this over time, we really need to know how fast our cobblestone generators are going. So I think I need to do some tests. And the way I'm going to do some tests is to disconnect these 2 things to stop them pinching any of that cobblestone, and then we can just let the cobblestone filter into here, and I can time it over 5 minutes and then figure out how many diamonds we might expect from that, or more likely how many hours we could expect to wait per diamond. So in 5 minutes, we got exactly 8,000 cobblestone, which is quite a lot. And that means we get 96,000 cobblestone per hour. And in terms of diamonds per hour, that is 1 diamond every 9 hours and 7 minutes, which means it would take a week to get 18 diamonds with the server running 24 hours a day. So perhaps my system is a little on the slow side. Geez, I didn't realize it was going to be that slow. So maybe we should make this system go a little bit faster than that, so we're getting a little bit more than 18 diamonds in a week. And there was me worried about how much sandpaper we were going to be going through earlier on. It don't matter, guys, we'll probably use a piece a week, that's fine. Jeez. So I've loaded the system with a bunch of sandpaper instead of paper, and I've made this little system which is going to sand our rough diamonds and turn them into diamonds. All it needs is a little bit of chain drive and off we go. We're now producing diamonds from our rough diamonds, and once that's run out, we can wait another week until we get some more. There we go, it's done. That was easy. So now we got diamonds. We have officially done an illegal thing in Minecraft, and we've created a factory that automatically generates diamonds very, very, very slowly. I would like it to go a bit quicker. And we've got all this space over here. But if I add a whole bunch more cobblestone generators in, we're going to be overstressed because we don't have much more stress over here. So without further ado then, this factory obviously needs a building around it, so I guess it's time that I built a building around this factory, and hopefully by the time I've done that, we'll have a whole bunch more diamonds. I doubt it. Maybe 27. We'll see. Well, there we go. That's the building done, and inside not a great deal's changed. We've got a few girders and some lamps around, and we've got a whole bunch more cobblestone generators generating us a massive amount more cobble. Before we had two creating 8,000 cobblestone every 5 minutes, and now we're creating 32,000 every 5 minutes, which is over 380,000 an hour, which equates to 1 diamond every 2 hours and 17 minutes, which is 73 diamonds a week. Hooray! But unfortunately we haven't had any more, even though it's taken me more than that amount of time, and that's because we've just had bad luck with our coal blocks getting turned into diamonds. They've all been failing and turning into coal, which isn't ideal. Oh, and for all of those of you in the comments telling me there's a better way to make coal and there's a whole bunch of different ways of doing diamonds from charcoal and things like that, they're data packs and add-ons that I don't have. In my pack, there is no other recipe for coal other than smelting coal stuff, crushing down and ignite, whatever that is, and blasting coal stuff. The only way I can make coal is the way I've done it with the compressed mulch. Likewise, there's no recipe for diamonds, other than doing it the way that I've done it. So there isn't really any other way of doing it, but what I can do is delve into my pockets and pull out the 11,000 blocks of coal that I've got from our fortress farm and shove them all in here. That I can't shove them in there because we put a storage downgrade on it. We'll just shove a chute on there, stick a big old double chest on it, and fill this full of blocks of coal. I don't need them for anything else. And it has just occurred to me that all of this coal is not staying in this chest. It's all getting sucked into the storage system. And I guess it's just going in this spare box over here, so I could have just put it in there, I guess. But anyway, we've got an absolute ton of coal in the system now, which means this thing can run at full capacity. That blaze burner's going to just stay blazing hot, and we're going to be producing diamonds in no time. Maybe. I mean, this little process takes a while. But it's certainly going to be a lot quicker than 18 a week, geez. Right, anyway, that is this diamond factory 100% complete. We now have diamonds for days, a whole 26 of them. What more could we possibly want other than a world download, I guess, for my patrons, and an updated version of this mod pack for all of you guys that want to play it on CurseForge. Oh, and by the way, I called this building Breeze. I wanted it to be reflective of our netherite factory, which is over there, which is the Inferno, but I wanted it to be brighter and lighter, which is why I've built it out of ice blocks. I've never built with packed ice before, but I think it kind of works. I quite like the color scheme. Anyway, this could well be the last episode of this season, depending on how you guys vote in the comments. So if you want this world to stick around, then make sure you vote. For now, though, I'm just going to say goodbye, and I'll definitely see you in the next one, because, well, regardless, my little create let's plays and building stuff and making create stuff is not going away.